This is a national security detention facility, inherent by being detained by the GDI. And to have a call made from within a facility like that, is extraordinary. The most important thing about having an unscripted call is this sends us a very clear message that this is not a hostage negotiation. We would expect a scripted call to take place. The fact that they were able to speak freely, they were in good spirits, are all very positive indicators, and certainly somewhat an unprecedented event. So that makes us very positive that we're headed in the right direction with this.
And what is the normal procedure for this, and who do you work with?
In this case, we're directly engaged by the families. I have a long history in Afghanistan that goes back to about 2014, and working on a number of very high-level projects. So I have extensive relationships as well as familiarity with the Taliban and the Islamic Emirate, which makes it more conducive to being able to communicate and clarify that this is clearly a misunderstanding.
So, how you say you have knowledge, and they clearly, well, how do you think they view you? Do they view you as someone not sympathetic to their political aims, but culturally sympathetic?
I think the answer to that is that there's an element of sort of pragmatism
Mm,
in understanding them and understanding their positions and understanding how they deal with negotiations and how they don't deal with them.
mm.
We've approached, really engagement with the IAA in a very traditional Western diplomatic manner. That's not how the decision-making process occurs. I mean, I have history in some of the aspects, through the peace process, was quite involved with the early days and after the immediate fall of the Republic on various initiatives to try to avoid catastrophic events related to the banking system and humanitarian crisis. So quite known to them, and certainly the people that I worked alongside are highly respected in the country.
Right, and you say you're an experienced negotiator. Have you had success in getting people out of the country in these kind of circumstances?
Um, yes, we have a lot of experiences, particularly with arbitrary detention around the world, which I've been doing since 2008.
In what kind of
Uh,
places?
Across Africa, Middle East, Afghanistan specifically.
Mm.
We worked heavily on evacuation, and my counterpart from Presidium and I were both advisors to the Afghan task force stood up at that time.
And what about the government, the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office? I mean, do they mind that you're involved? Do you liaise with them?
We don't liaise directly with them on this. We have done previously with Ukraine, as we worked on the Boyere and Dylan Healy case, and the other detainees that were released in August last year. So they're aware of us. We have a good relationship. But on this particular instance, we're not working closely together. Um, Afghanistan is a tribal culture, and
Mm.
it's a very specific culture, and it requires having the right people there. It's a culture and society that's really based on trust and relationship, and that's critically important in these kinds of junctures.
And how optimistic are you then? Or do you have a timescale as to when you think you might be able to get Kevin Cornwell
It's
and
it,
the other unnamed British national out?
it's somewhat, you take what each day brings in these scenarios. The simple fact that on Sunday we had that phone call,
Mm.
which I truly cannot understate, is unprecedented, and is a clear indicator. This is a national security detention facility, inherent by being detained by the GDI. And to have a call made from within a facility like that, is extraordinary. And we certainly receive that
Mm.
with gratitude and look at that as a positive indicator. And we are very, very closely monitoring events on the ground and are very hopeful. And this, we can clearly demonstrate this is a misunderstanding.
Right.